All right, everybody, welcome back to another Blades and Blasters production. We're going to be finishing up Dark Expanse. Planned one shot, now two shot, as is tradition here. With me are players Matt as Captain Surioso. We have Slip as Dr. Bonner. We have Groot as Owen Krasno, and then Wanderer as Craig Fitz, security officer. When last we saw our crew here, they had been contracted to go on a deep space mission to recover a substance that was located on exploratory scans. If you want to know more about some of the backstory of this particular setting in System-Lite, you can watch the first video and review when the handouts were read at the beginning. If you want more Blades and Blasters content, please go ahead, like and subscribe, hit that bell. We do other Let's Plays such as this one, or excuse me, not Let's Plays. We do other campaigns, games such as this one, one-shots, campaign settings, character generation videos, and the occasional TED Talk when most people are very drunk. So quick recap of what happened before we closed off last time. Fitz had... I believe had been investigating a noise, a scream of some sort that he had heard, and when he entered the room of Ian McElmore, one of the pilots for the ship, he came upon a rather gruesome scene, McElmore dead in his bed. So, Fitz, we'll pick it right up with you. Go ahead.
So, I look into the room at this gruesome scene. Sort of Fitz looks around and slowly releases a held-in breath and says, "Bollocks. There goes my evening." And then gets on the comms and says, "Priority message for Mr. Hombart." And I presume we've got sort of incident codes that he'd understand, because I don't want to really alarm everybody on board. But I'll
Yeah, just make up whatever code it is for this situation.
Yeah, and just say we've got a code 080 in one of the neighbouring quarters to mine. Requesting lockdown of the ship immediately, and requesting Captain, First Officer, and Doctor to meet me in the corridor outside my quarters.
Silence for a moment. Hombart says, "Confirm code 080."
Confirm 080.
I read you, Fitz. I'll send out a message locking down all crew quarters for now, except for that one, of course.
Thank you, sir.
And you hear a bunch of locks start to engage along the hallway there for just auxiliary corridors, maintenance hallways, things like that. For the captain and captain first, I would say. Captain, your comm opens up. Captain, this is Security Officer Humbart. You read me?
The captain had moved back to her own quarters, and she'd been in the middle of pouring herself another drink in her small travel tin. And as she finishes, she clicks on her earpiece. "This is the captain. Go ahead."
Fitz is reporting a 080
Shit.
in McElmore's room.
What do you mean? Yeah. And Captain pauses for a moment, slamming down the bottle she had. "Damn it! I'll be there in a minute."
Copy. I'm going to be contacting Dr. Bonner as well. And Dr. Bonner, you are also contacted in a similar matter.
080. That's a... Well, shit. And she looks over at her sleeping patient, Mr. Krause. Does he seem to be soundly asleep?
Soundly asleep? Still, as you'd seen before, he's got some interesting brainwave patterns, but his vitals, other than that, are normal, stable.
All right, I'll be right there. And she, knowing that the person is supposedly dead, she'll still bring whatever medical kit, especially forensic kit that she can with her. And she's going to take her tablet and make sure that it's kind of tuned into the readings that she's getting from Mr. Krause in the med lab so that she can kind of monitor him from a distance.
Protocol would also have Owen made aware, as he's a kind of second officer on the ship as well.
Very good. Have Fitz get photos before anybody contaminates that scene.
Mark copies and goes back over to Fitz. Krasnow, I want you to collect photos, Fitz. You up to it?
Yes, sir. Not my first dead body, sir. Yeah, no worries.
Very good.
And I'll go into the quarters, and it's locked down. The place is locked down, so I know that there won't be people wandering along the corridor to get shocked by the scene. So I'll leave the door open, and I'll just start taking photos of the scene. But I'll be careful not to disturb anything or tread in blood or anything like that.
Yeah, so you start taking some photos and blood splatter, broken bottles nearby, the corpse itself. Over the course of this, you all, everyone who's contacted and who decides to show up on this one, come down. Would Krasnow be coming down, or is he more just wanting the photos to be?
He's coming. He just, before people start tromping through the blood, let's get some pictures.
All right, very good. So you all arrive relatively around the same time, come into, again, a very rough scene, blood splatter on the wall. Macklemore's head is cracked open. Fitz is there taking photos of everything.
Oh, so she leans on the doorway, takes a sip of her drink, and looks to Bonner. Damn it. Bonner, can you analyze this, see exactly what kind of weapon inflicted this?
Will do. And she looks over at Krasnow. Not Krasnow, Fitz, who is probably just finishing up taking pictures.
Mm-hmm.
Is it okay for me to come in now?
Yeah, Doc. Yeah, feel free.
All right. And she comes in and she pulls out an imaging tablet, something that similar to maybe what a blood spatter analyst might use now, but digitally enhanced, able to see what direction a projectile or whatever would have caused the splatter patterns that are on there. And she just kind of scans around the entire room, letting her device do its work, also coming to whatever conclusions she can, of her own expertise.
Very good. Let's go ahead and you can do intelligence, I believe. Target number of 12 to figure out more about what would have caused this.
Oh,
Very good. Very good. All right, I'm going to whisper you something. You guys can continue to talk amongst yourselves as this is going on.
I'll send through the images to the sort of personal devices of the captain and first officer.
Captain, you go ahead.
No, I'll say I've asked Mr. Hombart to lock down the ship, Captain. Hope that's okay.
That's fine. I don't know exactly who would do something like this. Especially after we complete a job. We just need to get back. And She looks to Owen. Krasna, anything in anyone's psych profile detail the ability to do anything like this, especially to Mr. Macklemore?
Only person who I saw with any psychiatric problems is in sick bay, currently knocked out. Take a look at the body. Which direction does the blood spatter run?
I'm working on that, all right? Give me a minute.
Can't I just look and see the directionality of the blood flow?
Um,
I mean, I'm not looking for doctor's conclusions. Just, was he standing when this happened? Was he laying there in the position he's in?
So what you can tell just from a basic glance of it, you see a lot of the blood is splatter marks are on the window side there. Some blood runoff appears to be coming down from the bed. His head is turned towards the door in this photo, but you see a lot like actual splatter is against the windows there, and then the blood on the floor appears to be run off from his skull, maybe, or you're not sure.
Okay, but the blood as it initially runs from the wound, it follows gravity. So if he's standing up when he is injured, it runs down first. If he's laying down when the injury is caused, it runs down, and he's obviously laying down. So I'm just trying to see, was he standing, or was he laying down, or something else when he was injured?
The way the windows are, that he had to have been standing, because it's not at a point on the bed where it would make sense for the blood to get where the heights where it is. On the floor, it could have ran off from when he was laid on the bed after the initial damage had been done.
Captain Oso, she rubs her temples. You found him like this, Fitz?
Yes, sir. I was in my quarters. I was just gonna, I was off duty, so I was gonna knock back with a couple, just relax after that, if you'll pardon me saying so, weird shit that went down outside. And I just heard this god awful scream from next door. So came in, opened the door, and there he was. Like
Bonner turns and walks over toward the others. Okay, this is what I've got. This is not projectile injury, and she kind of shows them the images that are like reproductions of what the computer thinks might have been the likely scene. It looks like blunt force trauma, back of the head. Some of the window is also showing impact marks, and it's reinforced glass. That would take some immense force from someone to even make the slightest impact there. And I think we can rule out self-inflicted injury, it being blunt force trauma to the back of the head. So, security footage? Anybody?
Yeah, that's what I'm getting on, Bonner.
Okay, sorry, Captain.
And she chimes into Hombart. Hombart, get to the security room. Need to check anyone's gone in and out of Macklemore's room in the past 2 hours.
I'm here, Captain. I'm looking. I can tell you no one in or out other than Macklemore in the last few hours. Just him going in, locking up. I've got security footage of him drinking for a while, and then I don't think I've ever seen anything like this.
What do you mean?
Do you have your comm pads? Anyone down there have their tablet?
We all do. Send it to me, and Bonner. And fuck it. Krasna and Fitz, you're already here.
Alright, I'm gonna parse the section that shows the event. Make of it what you will. And you see a download, or an upload rather, coming to your personal tablet, spawner, and the captain. As well as the others. And taking a look at the footage, what you all see first is just Macklemore drinking. He's sitting in his couch, drinking heavily. There's several beers laid out, as you can see on the table just for yourselves. Few of them are broken. He slams one against the ground hard at one point in this part, which is about 2 or 3 minutes long. And he puts his head in his hands. He seems to start looking around at one point, confusion on his face. The lights start to go in and out on the camera, making it a bit difficult to see. But he looks, he holds his hands up towards the door. You see fear in his eyes. The lights go out for an extended period. You see, for a moment next to the glass, the lights come back on. His head is slamming against the glass. You don't see anyone else in the room. The lights go out again for a long period of time, and then he is in his bed. You see his legs in the position that they are now.
That's not possible. There's something wrong with that. Could it be some sort of cloaking technology someone was wearing? I don't. Bonner just looks baffled.
Humbart, can we get some thermal scans on the ship at all?
Fortunately, Captain didn't see fit to give us with that, as we're not a military vessel.
Of course. And she again rubs her temples, taking a drink again. I don't know what the fuck we're dealing with at this point. We need to make sure no one is, I think, separated at this point. People need to be at least in pairs.
I've got Johnson and the twins both calming me, pinging me for some kind of update of what's going on. The twins can't get into the shaft they need to work on, and Ronnie can't leave to go to the bathroom. What should I tell him?
And the captain pauses. Need to be honest with him to a point. Say there is a chance for an intruder on the ship. Say that, who's alone right now?
And he looks through and... well, Ronnie, but he's pretty secure from what I can tell. All his doors are locked in, one way in, one way out, unless if you think it's an intruder, they know our layout. Twins are together. The contractor is alone in medbay.
All right.
What about the sample, Captain? Could someone be after the sample?
Could be. Humbart, you have eyes on the sample.
It's down there with Ronnie. He's just complaining I wanted to use the restroom. Nothing about that.
All right, here's what we're gonna do. 4 of us are going to travel out of this room, Humbart. You're gonna lock it up. We're going to maneuver down. I will split off with Ronnie for now. And Bonner, Krasnov, Fitz, head back to the ICU there. I want no one without at least one person with them at all times.
What about Ronnie, sir?
I'm going to Ronnie. Fitz. We're all traveling together, though. Because
Okay.
splitting up is idiotic at this point. And she takes out gun she has. Keep it ready. Safety on. Just in case. Just be alert. I don't know what's going on. You need to get someone up to Hombart, too.
I can lock down the room, Captain. I should be fine.
Well, Macklemore thought he was fine, too.
Exactly.
What does it mean that we don't have our pilot, Captain? What does that mean we can't do now?
It means no complicated maneuvers. We have to go into autopilot.
Is there a way to set our sensors to really notify us urgently if our ship is being approached?
We can probably do that. And, does the captain have any sort of piloting experience or anything like that?
So actually, Krasna, you are the backup pilot in the event of any illness or expiration of a standing pilot. But as the captain, as you're aware, Captain, as you had said before, the ship is on autopilot for most journeys. Usually a pilot just mans it for more complicated maneuvers, or if the situation calls for it. Pilot is mainly an extra hand job. They are typically cross-trained as mechanics and maintenance as well. But the pilot training, it's just important to have a good human pilot on board because AI systems are not so advanced yet to take on the full load.
All right. What we're gonna do, Krasna, Bonner, Fitz, we're gonna head up together. Krasna, we're gonna drop you with Hombart. We'll move down to the ICU. We'll drop Fitz and Bonner there. I'll go to Ronnie.
Aye, Captain.
And she takes one look back at Macklemore. She holds a very stiff upper lip as she takes another drink. Shit shouldn't happen to people like this. And she turns around and heads out of the room.
All right. Come on, Fitz. Careful,
Right,
guys, now.
All right, so you all start to split into these teams of two. The captain being the one who has to go down to Ronnie's portion of the ship, presumably alone after splitting everyone up, right?
Yes.
Okay. We'll start there. So you go down through the chute there, further down into a propulsion hallway. All right, Captain. So you're going through this propulsion hallway. You hear the sounds of the pipes and vents working all around you as you're moving through it. It takes a little bit to get to the warp drive cargo area where Ronnie is. What's going through the captain's mind at this point?
The captain's not sure what's going on. She didn't expect anyone physically on the ship to perish at all in this job. She is fairly hardened from everything that she's seen. It's something that she wasn't expecting. And it's kind of running through her mind that this isn't something she prepared for. Something that she anticipated was going to happen. There's this frustration that runs through her as She thinks that maybe if she prepared a little bit more, she could have saved Ian. And she grits her teeth as she moves forwards, going towards Ronnie, hoping that whatever it is, the strategy of keeping people together and not splitting them up, at least we'll get whatever is on the ship caught. They can do work in their individual sectors, try and figure out what it is. And for now, it's just frustration and anger that's going through her mind.
As you're frustrated and angry, thinking about things, you are looking ahead. In these propulsion hallways, there are many different side paths to get to certain portions of the ship. And further down the hall, you're about halfway through the hall, you see someone step out from one of the side passages and just stand in the middle of the hallway. It's rather dark, not much illumination.
She pauses as she walks, switches on her comms. Krasna, Humbert, you have
Hi,
eyes
Captain.
on me. Can you
Do
see?
we?
Yeah.
And you see Hombart flipping through. I've got a long hallway here, Captain. I can see you.
Is everyone still in the sectors they were before?
I opened up a side door so Ronnie could go take a piss, but it should still be contained to his area.
So no one should be where I am right now.
No one but you, Captain. Why? What do you see?
I might be engaging whatever it is. And at that point, the captain kind of raises up her gun, or pistol she has. And she sees if whatever the figure is moving.
Stands there for a minute, looks humanoid, and you see it go to scuttle back down the hall where it came from.
She shoots at it.
And go ahead and let's see. Shooting is reflex.
Alright. Not the best.
You're pretty sure you hit it in the leg as it was kind of going around the corner. You don't hear any indication. You do see a bullet hit, and you hear some sound of flesh or what have you being struck. You don't hear any sound of pain, anything like that.
She hurries over, gun still drawn, very carefully to where it was shot, seeing if there's traces of blood or anything.
Yeah, you do see as you're getting closer, you do see a blood trail going down the hall.
And she keeps her gun drawn. Humbert, Krasna, keep eyes on me. I've got
Tracking.
something. And
Aye, Captain.
she continues very carefully to follow the blood trail, making her way down the hall.
So you follow the blood trail, and as you peek around that corner, you see the blood trail goes and stops a bit further down. The figure is actually just kind of crouched, sitting against the wall.
And she has her gun trained on it. Alright, hands up! Get up!
And you hear a deep sigh, and some of the lights catch the figure as it stands in the hallway. The hands don't come up immediately, but the light does illuminate the face.
Captain pauses, seeing this. She's a bit dumbfounded, causing her to... She keeps her gun up, but not fully trained on the center of mass of Ian. You're dead.
Captain? Is that you?
Yeah, it's me, Ian.
It's cold down here. And it's burning up. These are propulsion hallways, like you're sweating.
She wipes her brow. Your corpse is in your room, Ian.
I'm dead.
I don't know. What are you doing down here?
Why did I die, Captain? What did I die for?
I don't know. We're trying to find that out. Macklemore.
Was it because of you? Is that why I died?
I don't know, Macklemore. I try to take every precaution.
It's your fault, ain't it? You're the reason. That's why you look so scared, too. It's your fault. It's your fault. And his head just kind of bursts open. And there's this awful visage as it happens. Body starts to bubble and twist.
The captain starts backing up. And is it falling? Is it following her?
It takes a couple quick steps forward, but as you blink, it is gone.
The captain places a hand on the wall, breathing heavily. She calms in again. Did you see that? Did you see that?
Captain, we only have the hallway. We don't have the side passages. I'm trying to find a camera. What's going on?
I saw Macklemore. He was there in front of me.
And Kraz now, while you're there with Hombar, he looks at you with concern on his face, and he's not really sure what to say.
Captain, maybe you should go to sickbay, have a quick scan run.
No, Ronnie needs someone there. I saw him get Fitz and Bonner down here. There's blood on the floor.
Captain, when you look down, there is no blood on the floor.
She turns back and her eyes are wide. She starts hunting around for that bullet that she shot where it hit.
You do find it. There is a hole in one of the smaller pipes that is down there. Doesn't appear. It appears a bullet is lodged in it.
And she takes it out, and if she can, she'll grip it. Maybe I should go to sickbay. And she'll patch in to the doctor. Bonner.
Huh? What is it, Captain?
I don't know. I'm on my way. There's, I thought I saw something. There was something. I'll be a few minutes. And then quickly patches back to Krasna and Humbart. Keep eyes on Ronnie. If anything starts to go strange, please, patch me in. Quick. I don't know what's going on.
We'll do it, Captain. We'll take care of it.
Good. Thank you, Captain out. And she holds her head and looks down at the drink that she has. And she'll grip it tightly and make her way down to the medical bay.
All
So-
right. Yep, go ahead.
In the medical bay, as the captain's on the way there, as she's listening to the captain, she steals some glances over at Kraus, over at his readings. She bites her lip and shakes her head. What is going on?
Doc, I mean, I'm no expert, but I mean, Kraus, it said he was seeing stuff. I briefly saw something, and now it sounds like the captain's seeing stuff. So,
She heard a gunshot earlier.
I mean, is there? I don't know. Is there? What can cause hallucinations like this? Right? There's got to be. There can't be that many things, right? Some kind of like contaminant on the ship, or
Right. I had
dunno.
them go check the seal on the sample before, and they said it was fine. I can only think that it's one of two. I mean, the sample is the simplest explanation. What is that? Where's that coming from?
What?
The captain stands up, kind of losing her train of thought, looks around the room. You hear that, right? She heads over toward the testing lab.
Yeah, so you had... Oh, go ahead.
You feeling all right?
Yeah, I'm
Yourself a
fine.
scan, Doc?
Yeah, look. I'll check this out. Consider this an experiment, okay? Just keep an eye on me. You don't hear that.
Not a thing.
You don't hear something that... Okay, I'm not gonna... That would taint the experiment, okay? She's trying to sound calm and rational, but you can hear a tremble in her
The rest
voice.
of us, we all...
She suddenly jumps back. I'm coming. She starts looking around frantically.
For 1 second, I think. Wanderer, could you say something? I think you're cutting in and out a bit.
Doc?
I heard that. Were you saying something earlier?
Wander?
You there, buddy?
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Sorry, I lost audio for a second there.
Ah, I got you. What were you saying? I'm sorry, I heard you trying to talk.
Yeah, before I cut out, sorry about that. Doc, we need you to hold it together so you could treat the rest of us if we start going loopy.
I'm fine. You just keep an eye on me. I'm gonna figure out where this is coming from. Maybe it's real. Maybe it's... And she her eyes dash back toward the room where they came from. It could be... That's so far-fetched. It's just ridiculous. She just keeps looking around. Where's this coming from?
So the door to the testing lab is closed. It's a rather small area, as you're the only doctor. At most, they have 2 science or medical professionals on board at once. It's not a big area, but the door is currently closed. You can open it if you wish.
Yeah, she'll open it. She kind of flings it open, actually.
So the door opens up, auto door. The lights are off, which is not something you remember having your lights on typically. So the lights are off when you open the door.
She reaches for the panel that turns the lights on. If it's motion detected or whatever, she kind of waves her hand.
Yeah, you do that a couple times. At first, it doesn't. On the third swing, the lights do come on, and you see from the ceiling a long, fleshy tendril hanging down, attached to a very small body. Its head looking into the desk. It looks maybe like a baby.
A baby with long tendrils, like obviously.
A long tendril attached to this. Perhaps the tendril is reminiscent of an umbilical cord.
Ah, I see. You hear Bonner gasp.
You right, Doc?
Come here.
And I'll slowly make my way over there. I'll unclip the sort of safety clip on my sidearm. Yeah.
She kind of grabs your arm tightly. She points up at the ceiling. Do you see that?
Well, the lighting conduit. Yeah.
No, not the lighting conduit. The baby.
Wait, what? Doc, there's no babies on board.
Baby on the ceiling.
But
It's getting bigger.
you know that.
I know it's not real. Shut! No! She just starts to back up. She looks down at her tablet, checking the readings on Kraus.
They are the same.
This isn't real. She shuts her eyes. She opens her eyes again. No. She backs out of the door. And she just keeps backing up.
And then it is gone.
I'm going to walk into the room and walk up towards the lighting conduit that she was looking at, and I'll just wave my hands around that area and go,
It's gone. It's gone, Fitz. It's obviously some sort of... What did the captain see? Captain, where's the captain? And she gets on her comm. Owen, where's the captain?
On her way to sickbay, Doc.
Okay, you can see her? You have eyes on her?
The captain, the doors slide open to the med bay this time. And the captain walks in. She's clutching one of the sides of her head, taking a long drink.
As you walk in, we're gonna do a quick scene transition to the bridge and the security. So, Owen, you are in the security room and bridge with Humbart, and Humbart's looking through everything, obviously reading all the transmissions. This would take place about the same time as everything that's going to be going on in the med bay shortly, but Humbert looks at Owen. The situation's getting worse, sir.
What? What's happening?
And he points over at security camera for medical. Dr. Bonner points at it. You kind of see the scene playing out, her backing away.
Can I see anything other than Kathleen Bonner?
You see Fitz standing there, perhaps looking a bit confused, but no. Oh, yep, I hear you right now, Wanderer. Can you hear us?
Oh no.
Oh man. Yeah, I'm sorry, man. You're cutting in and out really bad. Maybe try resetting Discord. I don't know.
Yeah. Kind of jump out and jump back in.
Yeah, I can sometimes fix it. We can put a brief pause for a second.
Yep. Spooky. You hear us there, Wanderer?
Yep.
Cool.
Okay, sounding good right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No,
That's
it's
all right.
okay.
We'll go ahead and resume it.
Yeah. You're good?
All right. So, Wanderer, I'm sorry, what were you saying?
So I can see that the doctor's looking very distressed. Do I know if she sort of knows anyone on board the ship? Anyone that would be sort of a sympathetic presence?
You're pretty new. I don't know how much you would know about those particulars. Anything you would infer would be about what conversations you've had with the doctor in this setting. So you may not know that right offhand.
Yeah. Okay. I'll right now. So I'll say, look, Doc, why don't we head up to the bridge and you can stay there, and I'll come down and keep an.
No. I have to keep an eye on him. She looks over at Kraus, almost fearfully.
But Doc, you're in no fit state. Honestly, yeah.
None of us are going to be on any fit state. Listen, Fitz, what are you scared of? What bothers you? What do you feel the most guilty about? If you could see the worst thing, you don't even have to tell me. But I have a feeling you're going to see it.
Oh. I mean, I saw a bit of what may have been Kraus's nightmare, and that wasn't good. And I'm not going to ask why baby's your worst nightmare. I mean, it's not high on my list of things I'd like, but not a nightmare. But I mean,
she snorts a little bit and actually gives a half-hearted chuckle. It's ancient history. But we need to stay here, and the captain's on her way. We'll talk about it when she gets.
All right, Doc. Just hold it together, yeah?
I'm fine, she says,
right.
And she gives you kind of a hard look.
Oh, yeah. All right, Doc. Sorry, I'm just a bit rattled. I mean, like a physical threat. Even what happened to Macklemore, I mean, I'm used to seeing stuff like that, but this stuff that everyone's seeing, it's just got me a bit rattled. It's not something I know how to.
Yeah, well, get used to it. I have a feeling that it's going to get worse before it gets better.
Great.
And Humbart looks at Krasnow and well, we have to take stock, sir. We've got 2 senior personnel that are seeing things, hallucinations. Maybe even others. Macklemore's dead. You and I are the only ones, and Ronnie, I guess, too. Don't know about the twins who haven't been seeing things.
You haven't seen anything, Humbart?
He shakes his head and I've just been keeping an eye on these screens. I'm seeing people moving around when they're reporting where they should be. Nothing out of the ordinary other than what I sent to you all. But we all saw that together.
I'm beginning to wonder, being armed doesn't seem like the most wise thing for anybody at this point who's hallucinating.
Which is why I think, being in the positions that we are, Mr. Krasnow, we need to consider taking control of the situation.
We'll keep an eye on things, Mr. Humbart.
I understand. Listen, if it comes to that, I have your back.
Good. I hope it won't come to that.
Humbart nods and looks back at the screens. He's flipping through and he stops for a moment. What the fuck?
What have you got, Humbart?
I locked down that room, Macklemore's room. And he brings it up and he shows that the door is opened, but not all the way opened, just partially. And Macklemore's legs are not on the bed anymore.
What about the rest of Macklemore?
He tries to look into the room. There's no corpse. That door was locked down. Completely locked down, sir. Only people with override could have done that. But even looking at the door, and he points out the door, and you see it, and it's like bent.
Bent as in been ripped and bent?
Bent outward.
See if you can pull up the image of that happening.
Yeah, he starts looking through the cameras, and as he's going through trying to reverse the footage, you hear this rather abrupt kind of, and the lights go out in the bridge.
Complete darkness, or is there any outside light coming? I just don't know.
So there's some emergency lighting that pops on, but a lot of the systems that are on the bridge, the emergency power, when it kicks in, it is only the bare essentials. and it looks like an emergency power situation because you've got the autopilot is running, you've got some lights in the hallways, but most of the other systems that are considered non-essential are off. You people down in the med bay suffer something similar. Life support systems and some power for the medical side of it, just to make sure that Krause's equipment is still functioning, scanners, and that all seems to run at minimal power. Perhaps some functions are not available, but you get a complete blackout followed by an emergency power up.
The captain, is she able to contact people still, or comms down?
Yes, that still works.
She sends out an alert to everyone. This is Captain Suriozo. If you run into Macklemore at all, report it immediately and make sure to stay in pairs. Avoid him at all costs. He is not who he says he is. There is something aboard. Again, stay in pairs, report any strange happenings. We understand there's been a blackout and a power reboot. Stay safe, and Ronnie, I want you to stay with a sample. And she looks to Bonner. What happened to the other crew who came for this?
Bonner pulls up the note. There wasn't a lot of detail. There weren't any survivors from the past, from the other crew that came out, the research ship that came to this sector. Warp drive failure is what they said. But who knows? I mean, I doubt that's probably their best guess. Captain, what are you talking about, Macklemore? Macklemore's dead.
Macklemore might be dead, but his body is no longer in his room.
She narrows her eyes. Is that who you saw? You saw Macklemore?
Yes. I saw him, and he accused me of it being my fault he's dead, and his skin started to bubble and boil over. His tongue exploded from his mouth. His eyes dripped out of their sockets.
Bonner looks a little sympathetic, which is a little uncharacteristic for her. She usually tries to keep her emotions tightly under wraps. Oh, that sounds terrible. But did it disappear?
It did.
She nods and bites her lip. That happened to me too. I didn't see Macklemore though. I have a running theory. A partial theory. It doesn't explain the door. She looks over at Krause. I hate this. I hate all this speculation running through my head. It's unscientific. She stands up and starts pacing. But I have a feeling that this is the pattern. People are going to see things that upset them. Maybe, I don't know how deep it's going to go, if it's what you're feeling at the moment, or I don't know, but that's the only way what I saw fits.
You can hear Fitz starting to hyperventilate.
Fitz.
I've
What's
warned
going
him. His term now. Fitz, whatever you're seeing, remember, it's not real.
Oso grabs onto Fitz. It's
Take
okay.
his weapon. Take his weapon.
She'll disarm him. It's okay. Look at me, Fitz. There's nothing else. Just us three. Kraus, Bonner, me, you. Nothing else.
What are you saying, Fitz?
He doesn't seem to be able to hear you. And you can just hear him saying, almost as a whisper, he goes, no, I'm not yours. I'm not yours. No, you can't have me. You can't have me.
Fuck, this is so against my medical oath, Bonner says, and she walks over to Kraus and she grabs the device she had gotten out earlier, which is a something similar to one of the machines that people in our day use to resuscitate the heart, but it would be smaller, more able to vary the charge. And she walks over to Kraus, and with the smallest charge, she applies a small electrical shock to him.
All right, so you shot Kraus.
Yep.
Is the intent to wake him up?
The intent is more than looking at Kraus, she's looking at Fitz
Mm-hmm.
to see
Fitz-
if anything
Fitz seems to be-
changes.
Yeah, Fitz seems to be coming.
I didn't catch that last part.
Oh, he sort of seems to blink, and then he actually makes eye contact with the captain.
You hear?
Was that before or after Kathleen
Before.
shocked?
Just
Okay.
before.
She probably didn't shock him then. That would have spoiled the experiment. She actually says, "Damn it!"
Fitz seems to be trying to swagger, and as you say that, he sort of gives a sort of half-hearted smile and says, "Oh, sorry to disappoint you, Doc."
And you see her hovering above Kraus, holding out this, electrical device as if she's about to apply it to him as she looks at you, and then she shakes her head and puts it back down on the nearby implement table. Well, maybe there'll be a next time.
And as you say that, Kraus's eyes shoot open, and there's just fear all over his face. And he's strapped down in this, I'm presuming, correct? Or did you have him just laying there under sedation?
Yeah, she would have strapped him down, especially since she left the room before.
Okay. His target number is 12. Oh my. So he looks all around, and his you think maybe that these bindings weren't made for somebody who has a cybernetic, as his arm tears through of the upper body bindings, and he just starts to flail all around, screaming, yelling in a panic, knocking over medical equipment, swiping all over. Go ahead and make it's not particularly fast, so go ahead and make me a reflex check. Dr. Bonner, target number of 6 to try to avoid.
Nope.
So you catch kind of one of the errant swings as he knocks you to the ground. You are going to take 1 wound from it as you are knocked. You're kind of knocked into this other table hard by Kraus.
She falls back, probably everything on that little table clattering to the floor. She scuttles backward on her hands and knees. All thought of self-defense. No, she's just trying to get away from him. He's not awake. You need to trank him, or... She looks over at the device. Maybe shock him out. It's set on its lowest setting if someone can get to it.
Where's my gun? Who took my gun?
Oso shoves the gun back in Fitz's hand. Stun only! And she runs over to the device to attempt to shock Kraus.
Do I have a stun setting?
No, these are projectiles. These are bullets. Your stun setting is aiming below the waist.
Exactly! Stun him.
But as a captain going for the device, Kraus is actually running for the door, just screaming, "It ain't my fault! It ain't my fault!"
Shit.
Running for the door. Fitz is the only one in the way, yeah, so you can... Now it's time to make a business decision. You can try to... What are you going to do? Try to stop him, or what are you going to do?
I'll actually try and tackle him rather than shoot him at this point. I'm just gonna go down low and try a rugby tackle. So try and grab him around the legs basically and take his legs out from under him.
Go for strength against his athletics, because he's just going to try to power through, bowl you over. It's pretty good. Describe it to me as you are just able to nail the rugby tackle to take this mountain of a man down.
Okay, so I try and grab him with both my arms around his upper legs, and he's almost powers through. So he knocks, as I try and launch myself forward into him, he actually hits me so hard he knocks me backwards. But I manage to just kind of hold on and pull his legs together, and as I get sort of bashed into the doorway, I manage to just pull him down and kind of land on top of him.
Yeah, so you've got him down now, held. He's flailing around. No, not me, and he's just screaming, and he's looking all over the place. Captain, you're able to get the little stun device that Bonner had. Yeah, the little resuscitator. So what are you gonna do now?
She cranks it to a bit of a higher setting before... She doesn't know what she's doing exactly. She attempts to crank it a bit higher, and she'll fire it up, trying to shock Kraus.
Does Bonner see her doing that?
Of course.
Oh, because she's scrambling around looking for Tranks. She's like, "Oh, Captain Fitz!"
Yeah, Oso was not looking back.
All right. Fitz, you can roll an intelligence to see if you realize what's about to happen to you.
I'm so sorry.
See how much you know. Target number 6.
Okay.
Yeah, you realize Captain's about to shock the shit out of you if you keep holding on to Kraus.
I will just go, shit, and roll clear.
All right, so it's reflexes now, Captain versus Kraus. Because his moment Fitz is off him, he's trying to get up again. So roll reflex opposed.
Oh,
that's fine. He literally can't beat it, I don't think. Yep. So no, he just shocks him, and he just goes limp.
The captain, she breathes hard as she puts it down. Is he alive?
Bonner runs over, checks his pulse.
Barely.
Help me get him back on the table.
Of course. And she hurries up and looks to Fitz. Sorry. Yep.
I don't know if he's the cause or if he's just another victim. And Bonner's just shaking her head and kind of muttering to herself.
Whatever's out there, I think Kraus has had some sort of psychotic break, but if Ian is missing, he's dead. Whatever it is that's mind affecting us somehow, I think it's controlling his corpse. As fucking crazy as that sounds.
Nothing makes sense. But it has to make sense, Captain. And she says, we just need more data. And she starts trying to find some straps that'll hold him down. Is there any way we can disable his arm?
I can pull it off.
You can certainly attempt to.
She looks down and looks to Bonner. I don't know, get a screwdriver or something.
Bonner has studied science, really not mechanical science, but
You're familiar with this. It's
Right.
but cyber, so it's not it's unfortunately not one of your fields of study, despite how many you have, but you are at least in passing familiar with how cybernetics work in terms of replacement. So you know basic things because you've had to treat patients with these before. There should be a mechanism, and he's disabled. You can easily pull that arm off.
Right. She doesn't want to hurt him. If she couldn't figure that out, she'd take a laser scalpel and, kind of fry the wires. But if she can figure out how to take it off, she'll do that.
Yep. It just kind of with the right sequencing, it's able to click right off, which you have from his medical profile, just in case it needed to be that area was infected or needed to be treated. So yeah, you just click that off, and you have a disembodied cybernetic arm in your hands that is quite heavy.
Oh, she sets it down on the tray table where it lands like hard enough to clatter everything else on it. Jeez, what is wrong with me? I should have taken this off when he gave me problems in the first place.
It's fine. It's fine.
Over the ship-wide communication system, very rare that you hear the automated voice of your the announcer for this, but you hear the PA go off. Attention, all crew. Warp drive malfunction. 1 hour until detonation.
Fuck!
The captain, Bonner looks over at Captain.
We're getting that sample off this
ship.
place.
She looks at Kraus. And then back at the captain, she nods. She says, yeah, let's try the sample first.
We'll get it off the ship. This fucking mission was garbage. I should have known. And she looks to the other two of them. And she'll patch in to Humbart and Krasna. You two! How's it going up there?
Actually cut over to the bridge. This takes place slightly before you reach out to Krasnow. Humbart is starting to look panicked, Owen. He, well, perhaps not panicked, but perhaps more emotional than he usually looks. He's very stoic, from the time you spent on board, and he's sweating. He's rubbing his chin furtively. He's just looking at the screens, and he sees everybody in the med bay, the whole commotion go on.
Oh, can we see that stuff going on?
Oh, yeah, you can see that.
Okay, I thought the power was out.
Oh, shit. Whoops. No, yeah, correct. No, you are right. You cannot see it. Sorry, that was a GM file. No, so it's kind of been pacing. There's not been anything to do up here. And he looks at you, Krasnow, and it's not a good situation. Even with comms, we can't see what's going on, where people are at. We can't keep track of anyone. They could be losing their minds. It could be a collective thing. They could all be fucking up right now. They might be compromised, sir.
That's why we're going to hold the bridge, Mr. Humbart. That's why we're going to keep control and keep calm on the bridge.
We're outnumbered, Mr. Krasnow.
Bunch of loonies versus 2 sane people? Not a chance for them. Not a chance.
There is a protocol, Mr. Krasnow, we could enforce. If we can find our way down into where Ronnie is, whether he's gone mad or not, we can get that sample. We can get off this place. We can get out of this ship. We can get on the shuttle. The shuttle has time to get us back to Earth. We can vacate it. They're going to come for us.
Who's gonna come for us?
Them. Crew. You've seen it. They're seeing things.
I don't think they're gonna come for us, Mr. Hombart. We're going to maintain calm. If it comes to it, we can always abandon ship, but a couple of medical cases, that's not exactly an emergency. That's a problem. Problem we can solve.
He looks concerned, scratching his chin. Look, I've seen the way that Fitz and the captain have been looking. I have a bad feeling about them. I had a bad feeling before this mission. I think the captain is cracked. I think Fitz, there's something dark about him. I can't put my finger on it, but he comes from a difficult place. He's far too laid back. He's hiding something. I bet. And you see, he's sweating profusely. No, I know. They're going to kill all of us. They're going to kill all of us, and they're going to try to take that sample for themselves. If they don't go crazy and just blow up the whole ship, we need to leave, Mr. Krasnow.
Well, maybe if you secured the shuttle.
With the power, me to go by myself? All them out there?
I think it's more important we hold the bridge. You want to go to the shuttle, that's up to you. I think we need to maintain control of the bridge.
Bridge has no power, Mr. Krasnow. He's got his hands on a chair in the security room. His hands grip it very tightly, almost tearing the fabric. I signed up to serve. I did not sign up to die.
You're a survivor, Hombart. You're not gonna die. Nobody's gonna die. I'll flip a switch and go, Ronnie, you down there? What's going on in engineering?
You receive no response. You know comms are open.
Mr. Hombart, it may be that we should go to engineering. See what's going on. Assess the situation.
Humbart grips the chair really hard. And he takes a deep breath. Fine. I don't know how much we can do about the warp drive, but maybe we can. Maybe. Do you have a sidearm?
Yes.
We shouldn't take the main halls. They could be walking among them at any moment. I don't trust any of them. I said we don't take any chances.
I don't think we have time right now, Hombart. I think we probably need to assess the situation. Let's head down to engineering.
Nods. All right. He draws his sidearm. He heads over, swipes open the door, and he beckons you to follow him towards some of the side paths. It's going to take you down to engineering. Right. And we're going to stick with you guys for right now. So you're passing through a few electrical hallways. One of these areas gives you pause as you are passing through it. You proceed through a corner, and there's another shaft that you have to go through. Opening up a door here. There's a small maintenance corridor. You see what you see here. There's ripped wiring. There's blood splatters along the walls. What catches your eye more than anything, however, are two bodies that you see up against the walls.
What do you mean by up against the walls? Laying at the bottom of the wall or
Yes,
pinned
yes.
to the?
Laying against the bottom. And Humbart looks at it and... Fuck.
I'm guessing the captain gets that message from Krasna.
I'm sending it.
Yeah, she...
Is that text or voice?
Text.
Now. Very good.
Is there a, I guess, heading down towards Ronnie as she sees that and she shows the other two. Everything's going to shit.
Humbart looks at... Go ahead.
No, you go ahead, it's fine.
Humbart looks at Krasnow. He looks over the corpses. He turns Eduardo over his foot and... Gunshot wound. You see?
Do I?
Yes, you do see a bullet hole in Cruz. Eduardo.
What part of him?
Looks to be a couple, actually, upon further inspection. One is in the chest, the other in the head. The head wound looks fresher. Not by a large margin.
Front or back?
Front.
Either of them armed?
No.
Should either of them be armed?
No.
Who's got access, Humbart, to guns? You, me, the captain? Fitz? Who else?
That should be it. We have emergency weapons cabinets, and he rubs his foot off his head. We have emergency weapon cabinets and security, but that's only in the event of a boarding. Pass them out to all available crew. I've been with him the whole time, sir. There's no way.
What about the wires that are torn out?
He looks at it and shakes his head. I don't know much about engineering. About this shit. And he turns Maria over, and just for a second, you see his face slip, Krasnow, and his arm go out, as if maybe he's trying to block something, but you see him try to catch himself pretty quickly, and her wounds are to the back of the head, one bullet.
Any idea how long ago?
He thinks about it. Half hour, 45 minutes.
When was the last time you saw him on the live feed?
Over an hour ago. They go to a lot of places where the cameras aren't. They were just chatting, I think. But that wound is about the time the power went out.
Can we tell what they were doing when they were shot?
You do see some assorted tools and things like that out. You're kind of a generalist on the ship, for the most part, so you know a fair bit about all the systems. You can roll me a intelligence check to get a sense of what they might have been doing. Target number 9. Easy. So looking at what kind of equipment they had out and your understanding of the maintenance and engineering side of things, it doesn't appear to be anything complex, really. I mean, they were working near the power. It appears that they had some scanners out to make sure flow was good. That was put kind of on top, which gives you the impression they completed that portion. Normally, that sort of thing would be updated in any kind of feed to leadership personnel, so you might receive notifications on your tablet, or the captain would have. Not always something you check, because as long as power's on, there's usually not a question of, hey, what's going on with the power? But it looks like that might have been completed if you look at their scanner. And this looks like they were doing some standard maintenance next to the power. There's a vent that was kind of ripped open here that off the hinges.
So this happened before the power. They were killed before the power went out then. It would appear, otherwise they would have been onto the power.
Yep. That's what it would look like from your estimation. Sequence of events looks to be, just to lay it out, power was checked shortly after. Maria was the first one shot based on her bullet wound.
Neither of them has anything I can see in the way of a gun.
No, neither of the mechanical personnel are allowed to carry weapons.
That ain't what I asked. do I see one?
No, you don't. The only guns you see are the ones you're carrying, and the one that Hombar has. You do not see any gun.
See if we can find Ronnie.
Hombar takes a deep breath, sighs, and nods. All right. Let's do this shoot here. He starts to climb down. We're gonna bounce back to the captain, everyone, and you're all heading towards Ronnie as well. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yep.
Sure, moving through a propulsion hallway. Again. Right. So,
As they are going, could Bonner have performed a little bit of, well, I mean, if she just had bruising, I guess that wouldn't matter. But if there was any first aid that needed to be done, she would have done it.
that's mainly bruising. All right. So, whoever wants to, go ahead and make aptitude checks here. Target number 6.
What's this for?
You'll find out in a moment.
Ah, okay.
Hey.
Oh, wow. All right. So everybody, Captain and Bonner especially, you've been down these hallways a couple of times, and there's something that's throwing you off. You hear a very loud beeping. Several of them.
What is that? I don't recognize that.
Does this sound like anything that I might have heard, I don't know, maybe grenades or something?
You remember in the war, beeping was not a very good sound, particularly on certain fronts where people were not so well equipped. There were a lot of explosions that followed beeping.
Yeah, she'd hold up an arm, block the other two from continuing. She'd listen to the beeps for a couple seconds, see if they increase in pace at all.
No, they're very steady. Just constant beep, beep.
Fuck.
What is it?
It's not good. I don't know if it's some sort of set charges or something. And
Charges?
I don't know.
How would someone get hold of that?
There's not supposed to be this type of thing on this ship. Maybe it's... I don't know. Another hallucination.
Anything's possible to put your mind to it, man.
Ronnie?
Yeah, you hear comms, come on. You doing okay out there, Captain? I see you guys coming down my hallway, man.
Yeah, Ronnie, we need to get that sample out of the ship immediately. It's having adverse effects against majority of the crew.
Oh no, man, that's probably not the sample.
Then what is it?
That's probably the stuff I put in your guys' food the other day, man.
What?
What?
Yeah, I figured I'd make you guys a nice, Cajun style, Thanksgiving kind of meal before I say my farewells, you know?
What do you mean?
Well, Cap, as fun as it's been being on board the ship, there comes a time in every man's life, man, when he's got to kind of take stock of what his life's about, and mainly how much money he's making, so he can keep on keeping on. I make some decent money working in Corp and all that, but when arrival outbids you, I don't know, man. You gotta make a call, and at the end of the day, I'm pretty flexible in my morals, man. And all this has been pretty straightforward. I mean, people killing themselves, so not been too big of a deal,
So...
The door and the body.
That's probably something else you're seeing, man. That's pretty powerful hallucinogenics, man. I used to trip on this shit back in college myself when I was studying, but I never put it such a big dose inside all the food. Appears like it's been a pretty good spice for everybody.
Including yourself?
Oh no, I had an antidote, man.
No.
I knew I was gonna start seeing some wild shit as the moment we started collecting things from the asteroid. He actually onset a little bit sooner in that grouse fellow, but he ended up getting what he needed to get, so no big deal there, man.
So you want us... everyone else to die up here, but you... Is that it?
$80 million, Captain. I mean, that's a lot of money, man.
Why don't we just take the money and go? You can leave us alive. We don't have to all die.
Well, that's just the problem, man. Now that, you guys are starting to piece everything together, one, they told me no survivors, so that was pretty much going to happen no matter what happened. But now, especially, I had to take some time to get everything squared away for the warp drive to melt down. And I know you poor fuckers don't know much about it, so, I get it all squared away. And then, it just blows up and you guys are all just bodies in space, man. Just another accident,
Ghost, where's the shuttle?
Shuttle is there's a couple different escape shuttles. You're kind of in the middle of the ship. They're both on the sides, but there is also one in the aft or not the rear. I don't know my terms very well, but where the warp engine area is.
While the captain's keeping him talking, Bonner is both looking around for the source of the beeping and also private messaging Owen, which is something that she does frequently and as evidenced in some of the previous messages. And she's telling him, Randy's lost it. We need to get to one of the escape shuttles. And then she tries to think of one that's closest to where they are and where the people who were down, where Krasnow and the security officer were.
Ronnie, I...
Keep him talking, Captain.
Look, Ronnie. I'm guessing you don't have a family.
Oh, of course not, man. But with this amount of money, I won't have to do this shit anymore, and I can probably just start one.
True.
If I want to, or I can just go to Vegas and have a good time.
Yeah. You know that some of the people on board do have a family. Some of the people that they're working for, doing this job, they're doing it for their kids. Doing it for the ones they care about, and you're just letting them die. For money.
Well, it's alright, Cap, because you guys get pretty good life insurance here, so they're all gonna have some pretty well-off families after this is done.
Money isn't in comparison to those who you care about. A life of someone you love means more than money.
Well, that's in the eye of the beholder, ain't it, man? Because from here, your families don't look too important to me, man.
Of course they don't. Of course they don't. I'm sure someone like you would have been very, very useful during the war itself. Someone ruthless, only really out for themselves. Have you thought about how you would have survived that? How you would have gotten through it? Or do you just enjoy the cushy life that you have now?
Well, I never really thought much about it, really. And man, I'll tell you, you're pretty smart, Captain. You had me going there for a minute monologuing, but Dr. Bonner's pretty smart about looking for things. I think I can see her out there. But joke's on you. None of those are real bombs.
What?
Oh, there's beeping devices, man.
Son of a bitch! And Oso will just start very carefully moving down the hallway, moving towards Ronnie.
At this time, Humbart and Krasnow, you guys would have approached from one of the side passages. Upon seeing the captain and the others, Humbart actually does raise his weapon at them. Shit.
Put your weapon down, Humbart. Down.
Humbart. It's Ronnie. He did something to our food and our drink. He's causing us to steal these things. He's getting paid off to kill us.
I'm not seeing anything. All I see are your guns pointed at me. And I don't think either one of you have your guns pointed at him, right?
No.
Okay.
They're not at you, Humbart. Go ahead, Bonner.
How close is Bonner to... Humbart is closest to the captain, am I right, position-wise?
It kind of, but it's still a fair distance. He could definitely get one or several shots off before anyone closes the distance. Owen is close to him and behind him.
I will put my hand on his gun hand and gently push it down.
He takes a step back, trying to knock your hand away and raise the gun at you, Owen.
Can I get his hand?
You may try.
Do I need to roll?
Reflexes. One thing I want to make everybody aware of, you do have one luck die. That is the blue line. It is the only one you get. It adds an additional d6 to any roll in the session. So, not saying you have to use it. Just want you to keep it in mind. It's reflex.
Do we have Ronnie in sight, or are we moving towards him?
You know he is behind that reinforced door up there. He is not in sight. He's been talking to you over comms.
I'm gonna make.
You're cutting it out again, Juan. Sorry.
Bugger. Sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
I'm going to make a run for that door. The security door that Ronnie's behind. I'm going to trust these bombs really are fake and trust my life to it and make.
All right. So Krasna, you try to get your hand on the gun, but Hombart's just a little bit quicker, and he raises the gun at you and takes a step back. I knew it. I should have known you were too soft, Mr. Krasnow.
I've told you not to shoot anyone. That includes me, Mr. Hombart. Now put that gun back in the holster before you hurt someone.
That might be my intention. I see all these guns being pointed at me.
Hombart.
I know what's coming.
Hombart, you and I survived the same thing together.
You shut your mouth. I see that gun.
It's not for you. I'm trying to save us.
Fitz, as you're trying to run by, Hombart sees you and he starts to raise the gun on Fitz as he's running by. Is anyone else doing anything?
Yeah, and I had said once Krasnow had started getting threatened by Hombart, Bonner, I think instinctively would have gone forward and tried to trank him. She is normally cautious, but there's still feelings there.
So
And that gun doesn't get pointed toward Kathleen.
No, it goes towards Fitz.
Well,
So
I didn't realize he was between me and the door, but
he's kind of there, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But
I see him raising the gun towards me. I'll try and.
You try to do what?
I'll try and grab his arm, but if not, then I'll just try and dive.
All right, let's do Bonner first. Bonner, go ahead, and it's going to be reflex versus reflex again.
I'm going to use luck this time.
All right.
Damn it.
Ooh.
So you go in with the trank needle or whatever it is that you're trying to jab into him, and the corner of his eye catches you, and he shifts, and instead of going into his neck or wherever you were going for, it gets lodged in his armor, his security armor, his shoulder, and you don't feel it strike flesh. Just kind of just gets stuck in some kind of heavy Kevlar padding that's in there. And Fitz, you can try to either swipe at his gun or dive at him, whatever you're going to try to do.
Okay, I'll try and swipe at his gun. I may as well use my luck die.
Yep.
Guess it's reflexes?
Yes, it is. It's pretty good. So you are able to knock away his gun. It goes flying across the deck, and he is disarmed. You son of a bitch! And he tries to go after you, just trying to punch you.
Okay. I've actually really wanted to punch Hombart for some time.
So he's gonna get to punch you because you swiped his gun out. Oh, so you can get around all this commotion. We'll come back to you in a second.
Discord is dropping out again.
So he's gonna try to swing on you,
Okay.
Fitz. So
Is that reflexes again?
yes. So you maybe misread what he's trying to do. You maybe duck when you should have dived, and he hits you with a right cross across the side of your face, and you see stars for a second, and it's an angry Hombart pushing towards you. Bonner's trank needle in his shoulder.
Look, Hombart, you got to snap out of this. You're seeing stuff same as the rest of us were.
Grab the dart. Grab the.
Do I think
needle.
I could? Do you think I could? Do I think I could, rather?
You could try.
Let's see if we could give it a go. Okay. Ooh.
Yeah, there's just so much jostling around going on. You're just trying to protect yourself from getting slammed or punched or anything like that. You just can't seem to get a hand on the needle. What's everybody else doing?
Osa's still running for that door, trying to get to Ronnie.
Krasnauer, Bonner?
Pulling my gun, putting it on Hombart, telling him to stop.
Bonner's probably reaching into her med kit, and she probably has a couple trank needles, and so she'd be looking for another one. I doubt she'd be able to find it, pull it out, and act this round.
Hombart, he feels the cold steel go against the side of his head, and he kind of looks out of the corner of his eyes, not turning his head all the way around. He's still got a hand on Fitz's collar. You don't have the stones, Krasnau.
Don't question my style.
Krasnau, you see his hand, free hand, slowly inching across to try to grab the needle out of his shoulder.
Okay, I was shooting at him.
Oh, you were shooting him. Oh, I thought you were just putting it to him to stop. Oh, okay.
Nope, I was pulling the trigger.
No, I mean he can't get out of the way of that. It's point blank. Describe it as you end Jeffrey Hombart.
Don't question my stones. Straight through the head.
Oh,
Fitz, you are splattered with blood, and Bonner as well, as Hombart's side of his head opens up like a canoe, and his grip fades from Fitz as he slumps to the ground.
bloody hell. Oh, I wasn't expecting that.
Oh, Jesus. Where's the captain?
Pull it together, Fitz. Ronnie.
Oh,
Captain's gone to get Ronnie.
Do we go after her?
And Captain, we're gonna go to you. What you see? You try to get to. So you're trying to get to the door.
Yeah, so she runs kind of in all this chaos past them into the door. Basically just trying to bust through if it's locked.
Right. So these are heavy reinforced doors for the warp drive. Let me bring you out here. All right, so you do see Ronnie in there. He's just hitting some things on a keyboard. And you try to get through the door. First 2 attempts, it's not going very well. You have the clearance to do it, of course, and you're trying to move it, but it seems like something is in the way. It's getting jammed or something like that. You do see him through the reinforced glass kind of portcullis that's there.
Is there any way maybe to somehow jimmy this door open or break through this glass?
You can certainly try. How would you like to try to do it?
To get through the door or break the glass, or either or?
Which one? The door is going to be, I mean, it's getting jammed. You're not really sure what he's put in front of it. It feels heavy because, again, the door should be able to open. But when you try to press through it, you get the clearance that, the green to go, you can enter, but it seems like there's something pressed up against it. Some sort of something that's in here, cargo maybe, you're not sure. The glass is there. You can see him, and he actually looks back at you, and he's waving at you as you're looking through the glass.
I don't know if I can roll, maybe. I'm just trying to think. Either int to figure out how the heck to get past this, or strength to bust down this damn glass, because I don't think she'll be able to lift this door or push it apart.
You could, you think maybe everybody working together might be able to get it open? There are 4 of you.
She runs to the door, and as she does, she's pushing, pulling, and just trying to get it open. And she has this rage on her face as she looks up to Ronnie, and she looks back at the other 3 that are there. Get over here! We need to open this door now!
Okay.
Ghost, is there any way for Ronnie to get out of that room other than the door or going out into space?
You know that there is a small shuttle back here in the rear section, because with warp drives being as unstable as they are, that portion of the crew may need to escape the most quickly. Given like reactor meltdowns, things like that, because it'll quickly start to become unstable and unfeasible to stay in there. So it's a small one. Usually it's personal 1 to 2 size to get into.
How is this door secured? Is there any way, like, cutting through a portion of it with a laser scalpel or something would weaken it so that the others could break it down a little more?
So the door isn't the issue, it's more what is behind it. So
gotcha.
it's like heavy cargo or something, like a heavy box, maybe some equipment that's been pushed in front of it. So the door is giving, it's whatever Ronnie has moved in front of it that is giving the issue, and that's where everybody pushing comes in.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll give it a shove.
And to push.
All right. Everyone rolls strength. Target were 20. Easy.
There we go.
So you see him inputting things in the computer. You're all pushing, and there's a loud kind of groan as whatever this crate is being pushed back, all 4 of you. He looks back, and that smile fades, and shit. You see he does have the container that was holding the substance in his hand. He's running with it. As you all burst in, he's running towards the escape shuttle. He turns to look at you with his hand on the cap and his other hand holding the bottom of it, and he just looks at you. You guys might want to be real careful, man.
And the captain, she pulls up her weapon. I thought he didn't want to tell you, Ronnie. Looks like we all are if you don't drop it.
I'll open this up, man. This is hella radioactive.
Yeah, you're forgetting you're going to kill us all anyway, Ronnie. Doesn't feel like we've got a lot to lose now.
Well, man, you all could always try to go for the escape pods.
Or, and the captain...
Like you didn't think of that, Ronnie.
Well, man, if you guys can disarm some stuff, you might be able to have enough time. I don't know.
The captain
I know
shoots
Captain's
him.
been through war before. You're shooting him.
Oh, yeah. As he's monologuing.
Got him.
The appropriate.
Go ahead and roll it. Just to
Reflexes?
hit. Yeah.
Alright, I'm using my luck die.
9. Ooh. All right. Yeah, you nail him. So you shoot. Where were you trying to aim to? Because he tries to avoid. He can't guess where the gun's gonna hit him, but he tries to. When he sees your resolve, you're about to shoot him. Then
She aims and she shoots him in his stupid, smug stoner face.
so you blast him, and you see it go through and through the cheeks, and he is knocked to the ground, spitting out blood. All over me. Oh, fuck, man, my face. And you see he's like shriveled up and like shaking. Probably bleeding out, a lot of blood flowing out of his face onto the floor.
The captain, she quickly moves, walking with purpose over towards Ronnie, and she rips the container from his hands and puts it on the floor, sliding it away before straddling over Ronnie. And she takes a fist and reels it back. You're not dead yet, but you will be soon.
And you hear the this kind of pop that goes through the war room, and you see Ronnie is looking. His eyes are full of fear, but it's not at you. It's towards the container that you had rolled away.
And she reels back and she hits him in the jaw before looking towards the container as well, hearing the pop.
All of you see Macklemore standing there, shattered glass in his hands, and this element sitting in the middle of his palm. His eyes are white. His head is still caved open. Blood's still leaking out of the back of his head.
Rosa just stares, and she's taken aback as she looks to him. Not again. You're not here.
No hallucination could cause us all to see the same thing, Captain.
You guys seeing this too?
Macklemore. What are you?
You see from the material in his hand, it starts to spread over the corpse. Slowly at first, and then engulfing Macklemore. And it looks over towards all of you. It's cold regard that's humanoid in figure, but it billows and kind of smokes and simmers. It looks at all of you, and then its eyes come to rest on Ronnie. And it extends a hand, what you think is a hand, towards Ronnie as he's sitting there writhing on the ground. Captain, do you let him go? Do you back away?
She thinks about getting one last punch in, but she just lets him go, gets off, stops straddling, and backs away from the corpse of Macklemore. What the fuck?
And Ronnie's body is jolted through the air. He's squirming, looking very afraid, just pulled in front of this thing. And it begins to kind of move its hands around in a circular motion. And you see Ronnie starts to get reassembled, disassembled, shifted around.
the captain will do the same as Fitz and just start backing away back towards the others. I don't know if you're some sort of hallucination or not. You can take him and whatever that is and just leave, please. Leave my people alone.
Flesh is a weakness, is it not?
It might be a weakness, but some of us have to have flesh in order to survive. And I think we prefer it that way.
You have not seen what my touch can offer you. This is evolution. What is the measure of your resolve?
I'd like to say it is high since I'm still alive. After everything I've seen and done. I wish to remain as I am now, as much as your form is evolution. I would prefer to wait for such things, and not to have it so easily.
And what if I did not give you the choice?
I don't think there's anything I could do about that. I could try to struggle. All I ask is you let what remains of my people go.
You see, it looks considerate for a moment, and then prey is chased by predators on your planet. How fast can you run?
And so she takes steps back. Well, why don't I run and you follow the test? And with that, she will make sure it's following, but she will run. And she will shout at the others to get out.
I would think everyone's running.
Yeah.
Hopefully to the escape pod.
I think Bonner would hesitate, but once everybody else started running, she'd be the last one to take off. She seems to be considering the creature and what it was saying, and almost reluctantly takes off after the other.
Mr. Krasnow?
That's a two-person shuttle, isn't it?
The one in here is. The other ones are bigger.
Head in the shuttle. I'll get to another one.
Bonner looks at Krasnow and shakes her head. Fitz can take this one.
No, you two take this one. I'll take the other one.
Both of you!
And he just starts running.
And then
He
we
doesn't
do
wait,
rock,
he
paper,
just goes.
scissors.
Yeah.
You guys can both get into the... Two people can get into the shuttle. It doesn't
Yeah.
seem to be trying to stop you.
Krasnow and Bonner, go.
Yeah, Fitz is just running for the other shuttle. He's not waiting for an answer.
Kathleen, get in.
And
I'm gonna nuke this ship.
She crosses her arms and she says, "I'll go when you go."
The entity starts slowly advancing.
It's not chasing the captain anymore?
It is, but the thing that was Ronnie appears moving towards you too as you're standing near the shuttle, but not in it, and it's moving rather quickly.
Kathleen just raises an eyebrow at Krasnow and says, "Really? You think I'm going to get in there by myself? What have I got to live for?"
Well, if we don't destroy this thing here, you know it's going to Earth.
Well then, we stop it here now.
We know how to overload the warp drive?
It's already overloaded.
How long?
20 minutes.
Do you think it knows about the warp drive?
It can reassemble Ronnie.
Getting
Knows
ever
everything
closer.
Ronnie knows. I'm going to take a shot at it. I'll use my luck die.
Reflexes. It is not trying to get out of the way. It appears to be trying to take it.
Then I'll give it everything I got.
Go for it. Roll it anyway to see for damage.
Okay, I rolled the first.
Oh, I see a 10. Yep. And then, so is that with the luck die?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm only 2 without.
So you see the bullet strike through, cuts through and hits actually in the eye, a pretty good shot, but it just kind of starts rolling along the floor and starts moving towards you again on just gangly limbs and horrid maw coming towards you. Anything from Bonner? It's gonna get in close here.
She doesn't have a weapon. Does she have her resuscitator?
You can.
Okay. If it was close enough to touch, she'd try to shock it.
You can try to do that as it gets close.
Yeah, I doubt it. Jeez.
This is on a high setting, I'm assuming, as well.
Yeah.
You see electricity. You see visible electricity course through it, just like almost cartoon-like. Even just you can see the skeletal, horrific skeleton, and such a high voltage. It pauses for just a minute, and then its head shakes, and one of its limbs, very gangly, malformed, sharp. I'm gonna roll a d6. The wins 1 through 3. Kathleen's 4 through 6. Owen. You're going to want to try to roll reflex to get out of the way.
Okay. I don't think this is going to do much.
You feel this horrible rake across your chest. This bladed appendage strikes through, tears in a deep cut along your torso, blood spurting out. You are not killed. You are knocked to the ground. You take 2 wounds from this as it strikes home. And it'll be back to you.
Run.
She stands behind him, kind of shaking her head. I can't leave you. But she starts to back away a little bit.
Shooting it didn't seem to do much good, but I'll shoot it again.
You shoot it, and it goes through its mouth and out the back of its head, and it falls to the ground. Its body is twitching.
Kathleen's gonna rush forward and shock it while it's down.
Go ahead. Yeah, it's this horrible gurgling. This kind of twitching on the ground as you're shocking it. It's ever so slightly twitching in the back of its hind area. It's not doing anything just yet. You have a moment.
Is there anything here we can use to put it in an airlock or jettison it? Or, I mean, clearly we're not going to kill
room.
As far as an airlock or anything like that, there is one. You don't have any suits on or anything like that, so if you empty the room of oxygen or vacate the room of oxygen, it might be dangerous to you as well, but you could pull it out into space or into an airlock. You can make a run for a panel on the wall. Usually the opening is for when you're landed safely and cargo can be piled out, but you could do.
What's Fitz doing?
Fitz and Oso are gone. They have ran out. This is just you and you two in this thing.
Let's go.
All right, she is. If he's on the ground from this, did he get knocked to the ground?
It is on the ground, twitching. You see the lower hinds.
The creature.
Oh,
Krasnow when he got her.
Krasnow was knocked to the ground. Yes.
Well, she pulls him up and starts running with him.
Until you run to the shuttle, you're able to get in. You do see it start to stir back to life. We're gonna cut to the other two now running. So you run through. You are heading through several hallways. You pass through the upper areas. You hear it ever walking closer as you're moving forward. Running for the nearest escape pod, I presume.
Oso's her goal was to bide time for the others to escape. And did her and Fitz split up? Oh no, they're together.
You can if you want to.
At some point, when there's kind of an offshoot where she knows down that way there's going to be a shuttle, she kind of quickly slaps Fitz on the shoulder. Go that way! Get out!
Right, Captain. Where are you going?
I'm going to find another shuttle. It's an order that you get off the ship.
There's room in this one, Captain.
Doesn't matter. This will bide you time.
If you say so.
I do.
And he'll run for the shuttle. He'll sort of look back reluctantly over his shoulder as he goes. He almost pauses for a second and then starts running again.
Yeah, when you look back, you see the captain turning down whatever hallway she's running, and then not far behind, you see that being that's kind of floating nonchalantly through the halls. It does look at you for a moment, but then looks back to the other hall and begins to float that way. You hear a very violent noise up ahead of you, Fritz, near medical. As you're passing through, you know that the escape shuttle's just past medical, and you hear something being thrown or tossed around.
What can I see?
If you look for a moment, you see the medbay doors open. And it's open just for a moment, and then a medical bed comes flying out and smashes into the wall directly across from the door. And shortly after, you see this hulking figure come walking very slowly.
Okay, I am booking it for that shuttle.
All right. You see it's missing an arm. Go ahead and roll a reflex.
Okay. Oops. Let's roll reflex.
As you're running by, you see this thing just kind of swing its free arm. There's this horrible hook on the end of it. It goes just over your head as you're able to skirt by. You hear its footsteps plodding behind you, slow but methodical down the hallway. You hear things being broken behind you. It's not my fault. As it's pushing down the hallway.
And yeah, Fitz is just keeping running. Okay. All right, mate. Yeah, it's not your fault. All right. It's running as fast as he can for that shuttle. And vowing not to pause if he hears anything else.
All right. So you hustle up towards the shuttle there. You're able to get to the shuttle. Probably in record time. Over the intercom, the announcer rather lazily proclaims, 5 minutes till imminent destruct. Please evacuate with all available crew. And you find yourself on the escape shuttle. You hear it coming down the halls, getting closer.
Okay, I'm going to look for a way to seal the doors first of all.
Yep, easy right there on the wall. You seal the doors.
Slam it, and then head for the controls and look for a launch mechanism.
All right, Fitz. Here's where it's time. So, Fitz, maybe not knowing a whole lot about the escape mechanism, maybe not thinking he'd need it, you're going to need to roll an intelligence check, target number 9, to figure out how to operate these controls.
Not his strongest suit. Let's see. All right.
Oh.
Okay. So you're trying to get these figured out. You hear the stomping getting real close. You think it might be just about to be outside of the door. You can go again.
Okay, I'm just going to start hitting stuff at random if this doesn't work.
Intelligence again, same target number.
Oh.
At the end, you belong to the void, Craig Fitz.
Oh, no. Come on. Hitting everything I can.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Oh no!
Oh!
Fitz!
So just panicking and losing it now. So yeah.
Roll me a intelligence target 5.
Okay. Oh,
That was for something else.
Snake eyes.
And if you look back, you see the doors starting to bend.
It's not my fault.
Okay, I'm just going to sort of pause for a second,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm just going to take a deep breath and try and take another look at those controls, see if there's anything written on them. Is there anything I've ever seen before with like seeing someone take off? Watching the pilot on any ship I've ever been on. Anything that I can dredge up to save my life from
You have
stupid death.
You have seen this, but when you take a look back at the controls, you see there's a manual right next to the console.
I'll quickly see if I can flick through and find something.
All right, so Fitz, target number 6.
Okay.
This is not great.
No.
You belong to the maw, Craig Fitz.
And you're one more bang against it before you hit the correct button sequence.
Yeah.
And you see space moving towards you ahead.
Take a deep breath. And just kind of drop the manual and go, oh, it's true what they say, RTFM. Oh.
All right, and the computer chimes in, and you look at you can look at the dashboard and see that the plotted course to Earth, 26 hours.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna get on the comms and see if any of the others have made it out.
You can go over them if you like.
Yep. So, just first of all, try and raise the captain.
Nothing but static.
Okay. Then I'll try for the other shuttle and Krasnow and the doctor.
Ah, how good that you decided to do that, because we're going right back over there now.
Uh-huh.
All right. So the two of you are going for a shuttle. These shuttles are all standard fare. Gives me a good excuse to use it twice. So you are attempting to get into the shuttle. You're able to make it over Dr. Bonner and Mr. Krasnow, but you do see the thing start to jump back to life. What was once Ronnie is pushing towards you, despite its injuries, and you see a couple limbs seem to spasm every now and then, maybe from the electricity. So you're able to make it to the shuttle. It's not far behind. What do you do?
Close the door.
Very good. So you're able to close the door. Now, as you're closing the door, one of its arms shoots in, it puts its head through, and it appears to be trying to pry the doors open. The doors are trying to close, auto doors, but this thing is strong. It's trying to push, slide. So it's there. You both get a chance to try to do something before it might try to break through.
Bonner is heading toward the controls, and she slides kind of the resuscitator across the floor. Do whatever it takes. Just get it out the door. I'm going to start this thing.
I'll do whatever it takes.
You're going to use the resuscitator, roll reflex of 6.
Full, as high as it goes.
High voltage. That's good enough. So what you see, Owen, this electricity courses through. It's the last bit of juice on this thing. And it freezes for just a moment, and the doors close. snap the thing's head, which rolls around inside of the shuttle for a moment.
Can I jettison that?
Oh, you can find a nice little trash bin. Gotta pick it up though.
No.
So, are you leaving the head in there?
Well, putting it in a trash bin isn't the option. I want it outside.
Well, does the bin...
Bin shoots out into space.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Yep, I'll do it.
All right. So this thing is kind of worming around. Its tongues are flapping around, but it's more disgusting than anything. But are able to bring it over to the trash, and you see a head rolling around into space out of the starboard side of the windows. Dr. Bonner, it is a simple check.
Intelligence.
Intelligence 6. You see the manual.
She would look first at the controls,
Press
and just
the
see
red
if she
button.
knows how to do.
Oh
She's
yeah.
like, oh, please.
It's a bit of a contrast here.
She sees a big red button that says ignition, and she pushes it.
And the space comes toward you through the windows. You hit the head on your way out, but it does not stick on the ship. It just kind of rolls out into space. And you may have some RP as you're pulling away. Again, same thing for you. 26-hour trip to Earth.
As soon as they jettison out into space, I think the velocity kind of is so sudden and forceful that Kathleen holds on to something to support herself, but soon they're out there just at a more normal pace toward Earth. She sits back down on a bench, puts her head against the wall, and closes her eyes. Okay, it's over, right? This is an hallucination.
It's not a hallucination. Thank you, Captain.
I hope she made it out. And she opens her eyes and looks at Krasnow. Come here. And she starts digging through her bag, looking for, bandages and surgical glue or whatever she's going to use to clean and seal his wounds. You really need to be more careful.
I really didn't plan to come.
Yeah, I know. You're a fucking hero.
At least we know it was dead. Has it blown up yet?
As you look back, it's still counting down. You heard that 5-minute thing about the same time. Yeah, Kathleen, you're able to find some medical glue, that instant stuff that Judge Dredd likes to use. But no, basically something to seal up the chest wound, and for now, maybe do something more complex later. As you're both looking back at the shuttle, from the shuttle, looking back at the ship, Captain, where are you running to?
The captain, she's just trying to bide time. She doesn't know how long it'll take for them to get off. And probably when that 5-minute sound hits, she's feeling the hurt in the chest at this point. She knows that she's not as young as she used to be. All this running, it's catching up with her. She takes but a moment just to put her hand on the wall and take a breather. She knows she should get to a shuttle too. She's just trying to bide enough time so the countdown went far enough, so hopefully this thing can't escape.
So you go to... Are you heading towards the shuttle then? You're going to try to escape, or...
Yeah, like in the last few minutes, she's gonna run towards the shuttle and try to get out herself.
So another 2, maybe 3 minutes pass, you're right near a shuttle. The last shuttle. And as you turn to go in, you see the being is sitting there in the chair, turned it towards you.
And she's wheezing at this point. Got her hand on the doorway. Takes a quick look back before looking towards the thing in the chair. No. No, just... let me go.
Why do you fight progress?
Because not all of us want the same progress. My people's progress is not the same as yours.
It rises from the chair and floats quickly towards you. Regards you for a moment.
One day, it will not be your choice. I could have elevated you here, showed you a brighter future. Would you like to see what awaits?
It's the same thing that awaits them. Ronnie. Ian.
You may look upon this knowledge and let it haunt you for your days.
And it touches your head with but a finger. And it simply floats out.
One minute remaining. Please evacuate now.
She stands there for a few more seconds, still wheezing. Shit. She turns back around and goes to the control panel. Make sure the doors are shut. And she looks to the controls and she engages the shuttle's engines to escape.
You thought I wasn't going to make you roll for that? Roll intelligence.
Dead.
It was a good try.
Good enough. Doors close. Off you go. All of you, if you deign to look, see behind you a massive explosion as the ship you had once become so fond of, those of you that had been in command for a time, Fitz, your first ever ship you were on in outer space, explodes into pieces. Perhaps it rocks some of your shuttles as they exit, but you are all steered clear 26 hours is what it shows to arrive at Earth. Captain and the captain only. You sit in the chair. Things start to shift and change around you. You're somewhere else for a time. You see this awful red hue that expands and grows larger until it becomes the shape of a ball, then a planet. If you look at this ball, this planet begins to look familiar. You see continents of America, Africa, Europe. The ball spins. Half of the ball is missing. Rocks and asteroids scattered. A strange skeletal spine protruding from what was once the rear half of the planet. As you blink, you're back on the shuttle. 26 hours to Earth. Home. Unless there's any closing RP, that's where we'll end it.
I think the captain, she'd sit there. It's in the central chair, staring out into space. There's contemplation of taking the gun on her hip, pressing it against her skull. She does it for comfort. Sits there for a few hours, eventually putting it down, putting her hands over her face. And her shoulders shudder. She reflects on all that has happened.
And the scene fades to black. And we will call that a game.